Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Don.
Can I tell you a secret?
Oh, do tell.
So we're going to do another installment of our photography secrets.
We do like secrets. This will help you be a better mediocre photographer just like us.
Everything you ever wanted to know about how to be just like us.
Some tips and tricks that maybe will make your life easier.
Yes.
Or worse. We don't care.
Yeah, and some of these maybe you already do.
That's true. Maybe we stole them from you.
A lot of them are things that, like, they've come to be second nature to us, but when we go back and think about it, like, maybe someone who's starting out, or maybe who's someone who works in, like, a different area of photography, like, you wouldn't think to do these things.
That's true.
So, yeah.
You want me to start?
Yeah,
Great, I'm going to start. So this has been a self-tip secret that I've started, where if a bride is, like, let's say 28 or below, I've stopped posing them, especially individually.
If they're of a certain generation.
Because I will just straight up say, do your TikTok. And then they will do whatever pose they've been doing since they were 4 years old with their phone. And then I will adjust accordingly. Because I feel the younger generation, they have been looking at themselves in camera for so long. They know what they like more than I could ever know. So I let them do their thing and adjust accordingly.
And then work off of that.
Because a lot of times, too, the way they pose now is not the way, like, we were classically trained. Things that they'll accentuate arms and legs that we would have never done. They don't care. They like that part. So, again, I still go through that. A lot of times when it's with a couple, it's not as needed. Like, when you were someone else, it's more they're okay with me posing them and guiding through
how they're interacting and everything.
But a lot of times it's with themselves or a bride and a bridesmaid as well. I'll still do, I always say, let me do one for mom. I've used that line since I started. The very traditional shot. Right. Let me get one for the moms and then do your TikTok.
You know what's been funny is lately I've had more, I don't know if they've all been older. And when I say older, I still mean younger than us, but just not in their 20s. I don't know if they've been older or if they've just been, like, more reserved. But normally when I get to, so I'll do the bridesmaids photo, like the whole group together, the nice formal one for mom, the standard basic. And then we'll do, like, a sassy attitude one. And then I'll be like, okay, every time I count to 3, do a new pose. And then they, like, panic. Which it's kind of like the opposite of what you're talking about. Where I'm like, listen, it's okay. We already did the formal one. We already did the ones where you look great. Like, this is just for fun. Like, it'll be silly. It's okay. But they just, like, go into this panic mode of, like, I don't know what to do. What should I do?
This should be your wheelhouse. This is what you do every day on social media.
Yeah, but I think I just happen to be with groups of women who are not.
Yeah. And as always, read your group. Some brides are still reserved and they're not on TikTok and they need help. But I would say it's...
You can tell by that point of the day.
Also, this does not apply to grooms, no matter the age, because they don't care. Just pose them, put their hands in their pockets, and smile, and get them on. Get them out of here.
One of my weddings recently, they were very young, like maybe 24. And the groom, we had a big party. It was like 7 or 8 groomsmen. The groom's mom arrived at the venue with them, and so she followed us out to do the groomsmen photos, and the guys were doing, like, all sorts of, like, inappropriate things with their hands and all this other stuff, like, while I'm trying to do the formal standard one. And the mom standing next to me, like, stop doing that, and then she turns to me, she's like, I don't know what to tell you, I don't know what to do with them. And I was like, it's fine, it'll be okay, I'll just remind them that how will your bride feel if this is how all of these pictures
Just
look?
give me one for mom, and then the rest you can touch each other's wieners.
I will give you time to do whatever you want to do. I just need one. And then they're trying to, like, sneak little hand gestures. And I'm like, can we please?
Boys.
Yes.
All right. What you got?
So this one I thought of because it happened recently. I was photographing something where, like, the people that hired me said, like, oh, as long as you get lots of pictures like this with so-and-so and so-and-so, it would be great. Well, those pictures weren't happening because so-and-so and so-and-so were not in the room where they wanted these pictures to happen. They were scattered all over the property. And so I had about 30 minutes left of photography time, and I knew this was something that they wanted. So I found my contact person. I was like, hey, listen, I know you wanted this. I've gotten one photo like this, and I haven't gotten anything else because they haven't been back here. They haven't been in this building since the event started. And they're like, oh no, like we really need some of those. And I was like, that's why I'm coming to tell you. And, you know, then let them decide, like, do they want to stage those things? That I just want to ask those people to come back into a certain room of the event space? Like, but
because you don't want to be the person being like, excuse me, sir, can you come into this room and do this? And be like,
right.
Get out of here.
Right. So just, you know, being conscious of what the people that hired you want out of photography. And when that's not happening, like, be proactive about it and give yourself time. Because we used every minute left of that 30 minutes to kind of stage.
Yeah, your board story, sorry.
To stage the photos that they wanted to get organically, but they weren't happening organically. And so they wanted to, you know, encourage them to happen.
And so how you also find out how most candids aren't candid.
Well, yeah.
That's a whole nother ballpark that we've talked about hundreds of times.
What was funny about this event too, I'm thinking it was a gallery opening at an art museum, and I'm thinking they must have a lot of the same patrons come to every event, because at one point of the night there was like an area in the gallery I still hadn't gotten any photos in because people weren't stopping there. They were just like walking through and not interacting with that portion. And so there were a couple guys that I'd been like around a lot, and I was like, hey, can you guys go stand in that corner so I can get a picture? They're like, oh, okay, yeah. Do you want us to look at the camera? Do you want us to just pretend to talk to each other? Like, they were totally in on like
rhubarb.
Yeah.
Rhubarb.
Yeah. So just tip of, you know what's expected of you, and then be proactive if it's not happening on its own. And they might just say, oh, that's fine. But at least you took the initiative and gave yourself time to fix it if they wanted it fixed.
I have a secret that this also came up the other day, where I had another photographer who is younger than us and is, I wouldn't say I'm her mentor by any means, but she's always asked me a lot of questions.
She would say you're her mentor.
But she asked me because she was like, I'm very confident with my posing of this spot. Like, I can be like, that, and then I got nothing else. And so I suggested that I call it walking into posing, which doesn't make any sense, and it sounds obvious, but I also say, like, you know, don't forget walking shots. Walking shots are so easy to do and provide you with so much material. That's not just them. But then the big part of it is when I usually have them walk, and sometimes I have them walk when I'm not even shooting, just to see how they interact with each other. You know, I told her ways to, like, tell them to start walking, but walk with the same foot to start. Because then they will think about it, which then they may trip and bump into each other, and then they laugh. Pew, 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 pew. Bang, bang, bang. And then what you can do is then you can walk into their pose, which I say, I'll do a walking shot, then I'll have them stop, and I'll regroup, and I'll say, this time I want you to walk 3-5 steps, whatever feels right, and then I want you to naturally come in for a kiss. And I don't want you to lean like this. I want you to stop, turn, however you would do it. There's no rules. And when you see them the way they interact like that, that can give you even more poses. Now they're there and they're totally into it and their hands are perfect. Then you can do your thing. She was like, oh. And she told me later on, she was like, it worked so well. It sounds dumb, but it's just one of those little things that I have worked of. You just let them walk for a little bit.
I think another thing I think about is like I cue myself to think like, okay, have all the pictures had them facing me? Are they both facing me in every picture? Have I done any where one's facing me, the other one's facing away from me? Or, you know, so then that prompts me of like, oh wait, I want to get one. Maybe I want one with them facing away. Okay, so now I've like refreshed my brain of like the repertoire of poses that could be like that.
And I've done this too, where like, you know, there's a super cute shot where like you can have a bride and groom backs to you, and you have that spot where you have her turn, and she's kind of holding his hand, and she's turned, and he's looking at her. So you get this like great side profile of her and her dress, maybe her back. But a lot of times you can't get them to do it just right. They're too far too. But if you get them to walk and then do it, a lot of times they nail it, because then it's more, they understand the assignment.
Right.
And then from there, you're like, boop, 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 boop.
Yep.
Boop.
Yep.
So that's what I mean by walking into posing.
I was actually talking to someone we work with. She kind of has come up in weddings being a videographer, but now she's transitioning into doing photography, which means, once you're the photographer, you're running the show more.
Yeah.
Videographers normally like play off of what's happening, and then they might have a few things they want to do separately, but for the most part, they're not responsible for posing the couple for the entire hour of newlyweds.
Yep.
And she was saying, like, her style works best in very documentary situations where, like, the couple is just naturally very cute together and doesn't need a lot of direction. And she's like, what do I do when I have someone that, like, needs a ton? Like, I don't know if I feel that good about my ability to pose for that.
And those
long.
unicorn couples she's talking about are far and few between. I get maybe 2 of those a year in like 50 weddings.
Yeah. But what I told her was like, we all just, because she was saying like, how am I going to know what's going to work for them? And I was like, you just keep trying.
Yeah.
Like you pick something. If it's not working for them, like if the couple can't get into that pose, move to the next one. But you don't need to tell them that they didn't do it right.
Correct.
You just pick the next thing and then move into the next thing. And then after a few minutes, you'll start to learn what they're good at and what they're not good at. But that's what we're all doing. None of us can look at a couple and talk to them for 5 minutes and like suddenly know how their bodies are going to work.
Exactly.
There are some people who, I've had like beautiful, like magazine worthy looking couples, but they're very unaware of how to move their own bodies.
Yeah.
And like it's a struggle to pose them. But then you have other people who are just like really in tune with how to move and how to be together, and it's a lot easier. So like there's no rhyme or reason necessarily. You just have to.
And there is a warm-up
trying.
period, especially engagement shoots where you've met them for the first time. That first 10 minutes, you're just cranking through, getting all the cricks and cracks and out. And
I know, that's what I always tell my couples. I'm like, listen, don't expect anything exciting or creative in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to waste it now when we all need time to warm up.
That's why I tell them, I straight up, like, we're going to do easy stuff.
Yes.
We're going to, like, you're going to put
Super
your arms
basics.
around each other.
Exactly.
You're going to look at me. And then that's where walking can get into it, too. You start walking a little bit, kind of see how they play off. And literally, I know it sounds dumb, but they are literally warming up. Not just figuratively, warming up. They're moving their bodies. And then they become a little bit more akin to that.
Yeah. If you ever look at my engagement sessions, the first like 3 poses are identical because I go for the like most boring, most basic.
Look at each other. Look at me.
Lean in for a kiss, because it's that warm up period. I'm learning what they're doing, how stiff they look, how cute they look, how comfortable, and then they're also, I'm taking pressure off of them. Like, you don't need to do anything complicated right now.
Yeah. We're going to ease into this.
Yeah. So, I know we both have to do group photos in a variety of different scenarios, whether it's like part of an event or it's the sole purpose of why you're there. And this is something we were talking about earlier, but just like giving your group kind of time to breathe when we're transitioning to that portion of the day.
Yeah.
Before like forcing them into the group photo. So like I know for me, when I do certain jobs at the courthouse, they'll want a group photo of all of the judges in the room. Well, all of those judges, and when I say all, I say it's like between 40 and 70 people, depending on the event. So they've all like processed in for the event itself. They've been sitting quietly, not talking. And then the event ends and we're waiting for the rest of the guests to leave. But then all of those judges are like trying to talk to each other and see each other, and they're, oh, hey, and handshakes and hugs and whatever. And, I know I'm on a time crunch. And so I'll be trying to like corral them immediately. And I don't think it happens any faster than when I just let them do their thing for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then like you're just like raising the anxiety for everybody when you're just not giving people room to be humans.
I see that a lot too, where you say you're doing a corporate event where they had a session there, or they're doing their talks and their candids and all that. And then they go, okay, we're going to do a group photo. You got to give them some time. I know you want to get it done as quick as possible. They want to get it done as quick as possible. But I found the more you rush people like that, the longer it takes. And then it just becomes more of a issue as opposed to just let it it's got to happen naturally, but you still have to corral it.
Yes. But I think people are easier to corral when they've had a minute to like get out whatever. Oh, I needed to tell so-and-so this, or like, oh, I haven't seen them in so long, or whatever. Yep. Just like give them a minute. Make sure you're 100% perfectly set and ready to go. And then you can gently start corralling. You
can even give like a little like, guys, about 3 more minutes. We're going to do the group photo. Yes. Give them some countdowns.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if it's one you don't have to necessarily put them, like you're up high enough, you don't have to put them on risers or benches or anything where they're just clumping. They're just clumping together.
Sometimes I'll even just, if I'm shooting on a ladder for a situation like that, I'll just like get up on the ladder, and then that's a visual cue when people start corralling each other.
Yeah.
And that is even less stressful for the group because it's like their own peers doing it instead of my shrill voice.
Go! Photo! All right, this is my secret. It's not really a secret, but it's truth. So recently, I had a bride and groom that were both from Puerto Rico. And they hired for their reception, I don't know if this dude had a restaurant or a cart or anything, just a Puerto Rican guy making Puerto Rican food. So I'm always like, if the bride and groom are a certain nationality and they hired that nationality as the food, you as a vendor have to eat that food because it's going to be the best version of that you ever had. Almost all the best vendor meals I've ever had are when the couple matches the food, if that makes sense, right? And again,
basically when it's not brown convention chicken.
Yeah. And they're not even hiring like Olive Garden, right? Italian, they're hiring Olive Garden. They're hiring this guy.
Local mom and pop type.
One time authentic. I had a couple that was Spanish, Mexican, somewhere in there. I'm not really sure. And they hired a guy who pulled up in a van. And the van had this like skillet that he pulled out of the van, and then he made street tacos.
Oh my gosh.
It was the best street tacos I've ever had in my life. It was so freaking good. And just made to order too, not just like, you know what I mean? Just had tons of meat, and he was like, here you go. A couple of sauces. That is what you want. So you might not have a chance, not your choice, obviously, as a vendor to eat, but if you can, please eat it. You will not be disappointed.
Well, one last secret for this episode, and it's actually something I talked about last week's episode.
Yeah.
And Jacob pointed out, like, that's totally a secret. We should share it. So, what I was talking about is that I was going to a new venue that I'd never been to before, and so I purposely got there early.
And you lied to the couple and said you had been there.
I didn't say anything to the couple. Had it been translated to the couple that I had been there before?
Probably.
Possibly. And to be honest, people will be like, hey, have you been to this location before? And I'm like,
they're all the same.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe? Probably? I don't remember. But I hadn't been there. And so first thing I did was I got there early, and before anyone else really could see me, I went to find I either look for someone from the venue or the coordinator. And just be totally honest, like, hey, I haven't been here, or if I have, it's been a really long time. I don't recognize stuff. Could you show me around? Point out to me where things are. And, you know, they want the day to go well, too. Sure. They want it to look like everyone's cohesive and, you know, knows what's going on. So, in that particular wedding, the planner did take me around, and she was great because she showed me, like, here's the ceremony spot. Here's going to be the backup if we get rain. And this is the room they're going to be in for cocktail hour, but the couples normally like pictures in here. So if you need to, we'll kick everyone out. And then this is where, you know, a lot of people like this space for first looks, and then other people like to use this space. And I see people hanging the dress here. You know, like, she really walked me through a lot of the basics to where I could go into the bride's room then and say, like, hey, I'm here. Like, oh, where were you thinking for first look? I think these two spots would be really great. Which was just so helpful and, like, just made the day go so much smoother. And honestly, like, I actually had a client, I think you're with me on this event. It's a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah in November. It's the weekend, Thanksgiving weekend.
I'm unavailable.
Lies. You already said you were doing it. And, you know, the mom had sent an email to, like, the planners and the caterers and a couple other people and was like, hey, guys, when are you all free to do a venue walkthrough with me? And, like, that's just not normally something we ever do because Because we don't need to. Like, honestly, if I get somewhere 30 minutes early and walk around,
I got it.
I'm good. And the thing is, like, I could do a walkthrough today, but the lighting, like, me doing a walkthrough at 10 a.m. is not going to help me be better prepared for your sunset photos.
Yep.
Or, you know what I mean? Like,
and these venues change. Stuff gets cut. Stuff gets trimmed. Like, oh, like, this is a great spot. And then you come back, they've taken the tree out.
yes.
You're like, oh, okay.
Or that's where they've set up their photo booth. And now, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, listen, I'm really close with your planner. If you really want me there because you're doing things really non-traditionally and you think it'll be helpful, I'll be there. But I'm going to show up early and talk to the planner and get the lay of the land. And I've looked at all the Google Maps images and all of the gallery images, and I feel fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we normally try to get there early, figure out where everything is, what's happening where that day. Is weather going to impact it? Like, I could go do a venue walkthrough and then we get rained out and then it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So, yeah, I guess that's the tip. Just show up early.
Show up early. You didn't have to talk to the coordinator. It helps, but show up early. I usually do that too on a new spot, and I go through and I just go, okay, that spot's good, that spot's good. Doesn't mean I'm actually going to go there. I'm just making a mental checklist of, I could do a first look here, I can do their newlyweds here, I can do this here.
And you can almost guess where people might want photos. And like, I can tell, like, that's a really cute spot, but the lighting's going to be atrocious when we're going to have time to do that. So, like, I can already be prepped to say, like, yeah, we can go there, but just know, like, it's going to be really bright. You might have the sun in your eyes, or, you know, like, if I know it's cloudy, like, yeah, for sure, that's going to be beautiful. So.
And we've talked about this before, I still will go up to the bride and be like, okay, for your first look, do you have anywhere that you had planned on? I was like, I already got a couple spots, or like, I'll say, like, I've shot this before. I always have a couple spots, but I want to hear from you. And if she's like, oh, I'm open, then I'm like, great. And sometimes they're like, well, I really want to do it here. And I was like, that was one of my spots. Perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
All right. No more secrets for now.
No, we can't give all of our secrets away. I'm going to steal my 3 weddings this year. All right, what'd you shoot this week?
All right, so I started off with a wedding at the Ever After Farms Blueberry Barn.
Yeah. What's up?
And
I haven't been doing Ever After Farms in a minute.
Yeah.
Probably pre-summer.
I think mine was like May the last time I was there. And what was wild was
Which one's Blueberry?
The one with the little chapel. And the one that used to have the patio.
The little chapel with the door, like you can actually like go inside of it? Yeah, okay.
And it used to have the patio off the bridal suite that you really liked. Yeah. And then they expanded the bridal suite and you lost your patio. Yeah. So we were there. And the wild thing was we got there. I think Lana was with me on this one too for video. And there was a woman that came in that was a coordinator. Like I saw the regular venue staff that I knew. And then I asked one of them a question. And they're like, oh, that's going to be something for so-and-so. And I just assumed it was a new coordinator for Ever After because she didn't identify herself any other way.
They brought in their own? It
was their own separate outside coordinator, which totally threw me for a loop because then she's asking me things about the venue. And I was like, I don't know. Don't you work here? Like, you know, the cute little blue truck?
Yeah.
It had a tarp over it. So one of the things they wanted arrival photos. Like as the limo dropped them off, they wanted pictures of them all getting out of the limo. But the limo dropped off right in front of that blue truck. And the blue truck was under a tarp. But like, that's not my thing to do. Like, I didn't know if it was damaged. I didn't know if it was because it was supposed to rain that day. Like, it's not my thing. So when the bride comes, the planner came out with us for that one. And then she's like, why is this tarp here? And I was like, I don't know. And this whole time I still thought she was with the venue. And then she was like, well, can we take it off? And I was like, I don't know. But now she's trying to take the tarp off while the limo is pulling up. It was a mess. But anyway, so I was at the Blueberry Barn. And then...
That's what I love about, like, if Ever After was in charge like they normally are, they probably would have taken it off. But when someone else comes in, and I feel like all companies, then they just go, all venues just go, okay.
Well, because...
We'll be here if you need it. Let me know.
What you paid for was them to open the building, make sure the bathrooms are operating.
Yeah.
Open whatever closets people need to store stuff in, and then like open the doors for the ceremony. Like, that's what.
And then close it up at night.
And then manage sparklers. That's normally the other thing.
But yeah, so it's kind of funny because normally they probably would have been like, oh yeah, we got take the tarp off. We just cover it to keep it. It's an old truck.
You know what they did that I'd never seen before? They used one of the carriages. They had it out available for rides during the cocktail hour.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like a little like electric powered carriage.
No pony?
No pony. No. And it wasn't the one that looked like Cinderella's coach. It was like the other like carriage looking one, not the one that's like a pumpkin look.
Did I tell you the last time I was at Blueberry Farm? This was sometime this year. We were getting ready. Brides, like all the guests are in front of the chapel, sit, and it starts like it was coming, but like a huge downpour. Everyone, including me, runs for shelter. Right? They're like, we look at the thing. It's just one tiny blob, right? And it goes away. They go out. We dry everything. We start up again. Bride's about to come down the aisle. It does it again. Intense downpour just over the farms. By this time, then they decided to go back up and do it inside. But of course, they had everything set up, so they're tearing tables apart. Oh, what a mess.
Well, we had a hard time because, you know, the great thing about Ever After is we can normally knock out all of the decor photos because it's set when we get there.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have candles on or something, but otherwise it's pretty much set. Well, because we were supposed to have rain that day, when we got there, they were still doing tours for potential clients. So half of the room, like half the stuff that was set up was not for our wedding. It was just examples because there were like 7 arches set up.
You gotta be careful with that.
So we knew it wasn't our wedding, but then we never got to see just our wedding set because the planner went ahead and set everything for ceremony inside. So the whole time we just had ceremony inside, like the chairs set in rows and then the tables pushed to the side. So we couldn't really do anything then. And then it started raining during cocktail hour. So while we're doing newlyweds and like hiding under trees to do newlyweds, everyone else was inside. So we're like, well, that just didn't work out for decor photos today. Sorry. We got ones that have the wrong stuff in it. But then I did video for some promotional videos. So that was fun flexing my like other camera brain. Don't roll your eyes at me.
I always roll my eyes at you.
And then I went to Coral Springs to visit my family, see my nephew. We did like a little fall festival thing and went to a little pumpkin patch, a little hayride.
That's what you shot this week?
Well, I'm just saying, you get to talk all the time about your birthday and your board game conventions. And then I had another wedding at the Luxmore Grand Estate, which before I went, I'd only done one wedding there, and that wedding happened to be, it was just like a ceremony and like cake and champagne. It wasn't a full wedding. So I went on to like the company that we work for, I went onto their website to look at all the other Luxmore weddings because my wedding was inside.
Yeah.
But I thought it was inside because it was just a small intimate thing. There were 5 weddings on the website. All 5 of them had the ceremonies inside. I'm like, oh, okay, so they just don't do outside stuff there. And I get there, and I was very wrong. However, it started to rain. So we went inside anyway.
And that's why they were all inside. They were supposed to be outside, but...
Yeah. I was like, oh, I didn't even know you could go outside. But yeah, that's a nice, easy venue. It was a super relaxed, chill bride, like totally laid back. Actually, funny thing, both of my brides this week were pregnant.
Who's the father?
The groom for both. Okay. But yeah, so just nice, easy. It turns out the bride is friends with one of our mutual friends. So then it just made it even more kind of relaxed.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did I shoot? I did a group photo at Magic Kingdom for a travel group before the park opened. Mm-hmm. Disney was hosting them, so it was some sort of schmoozing going on. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. We just took
the photo.
Yeah.
Then I did I guess you would call it a corporate event, but it was for a first birthday party for 2 twins that we did at Epcot, that they rented out the French island and had a big birthday party and
very nice
cake and food. And but it was great because they had it till 10, but I left at 9 because then with fireworks, the kids they were 1 year old. They were asleep by the time the fireworks started.
Could you imagine fireworks pictures? They're probably like screaming.
No, they wanted nothing to do with that. So I was like, bye.
Bye.
an on-location studio. I can't remember what it was. Who cares? But then I had a wedding at a new place that I had been called the Pinery. And it was in Howey in the Hills, which I can never say that right. Which isn't that far from my house, surprisingly. I thought I was like, oh, I'm going to drive like 3 hours. It was like 30-minute drive. So it's definitely a place kind of where it's someone's house, someone's land, and they've slowly built a venue on there. So same with you. I looked online, and then I got there early and walked it. It is a very outdoor location. There are only one actual indoor location with air conditioning, and that's the bride's getting ready room. And it's pretty small. Everything else is outdoors. But their kind of claim to fame is they have these really pretty pine trees. I think they're pine trees. They're the skinny ones, but they're like in a perfect row, and there's like 10 rows. And one of the rows, they have them all Christmas lighted up, and there's probably 100 trees that they lit. Wow. And normally they put your tables there. That's where you actually have dinner at. But of course we had weather. So they went back up. They have like it's outdoors, but kind of like a little covered patio that they did. But they were still going to get married outside. But of course it started raining. And then the planner even said, or she's an event coordinator, a venue coordinator, was like, I have never had to do it under this. I was like, well, I'm glad I could be the first.
So that's what happened to me at Moss Estates when I had my first wedding in the rain, and they're like, we've never had to do this before. I'm like, how? Yay. You're in Orlando, and also why does it have to happen to me? And then I was there not that long ago, and it was threatening to rain again, and I was like, I am cursed.
Well, this is the new norm, though. It used to be it would rain in the summer at a certain time, and now it rains whenever the F it feels like it. And we were dry. We were in a drought all summer, and now September, October, it's raining, but no hurricanes. What? And it's raining at 5 o'clock, not 3 o'clock anymore. It's ceremony times. Seems like it's pretty standard.
Yeah. If we have one more storm, just like curve out to sea.
Sure.
I mean, I would love to keep having them curve out to sea, but geez.
But it was a very cool venue. And one of the cool things, though, is we still went out for newlyweds photos. We did newlyweds photos because after the ceremony, it stopped raining. But then at nighttime, we took them down those trees that are all Christmas lighted up. And the venue took their head table, their newlywed table, and put it out there and set it up again so they could get some of those photos of them. So we did them, kissing and together, and then we put them at the table and lit them all up. And
cute.
It was super cute. It's a great couple.
Fun. I've never even heard of that venue, so I'm excited to see if I end up there one day.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it either. And it's not super big, but it's not super big in terms of land, but they had 100 people probably, maybe 75 people.
Have you been having bigger weddings lately?
Starting to.
I feel like my weddings have been like over 100, 120, 150, like big weddings.
It's because the Disney weddings are getting like 17 people. Seriously, like they're getting smaller because they're probably getting too expensive. But the outside weddings are starting to be big again.
Yeah. I've had big wedding parties. Actually, another wedding, like the chapel space where they normally have the ceremony, normally like the chairs stop at a certain point of the room and we walk in and the chairs are like all the way back to the back because they had, I would guess close to 200 guests.
Yeah. I had one because the way we do what we shot this week, we have to cut it off at a certain date.
Yes.
So literally the next day after this one, I shot another wedding at the Cocoa Beach Country Club. And they had 17 bridesmaids and groomsmen, and they probably 150 people. The room was jam-packed. And I was like, oh, we're busy again.
Yeah. Okay. So, not photography.
Not photography.
Well, maybe it could be related.
It could be.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
Leave. Quit.
Hide.
Never see me again. So we're not going to say a specific amount of money.
Right.
Just
enough, like, life-changing money.
Like you wouldn't have to work again money.
Right.
I don't know. What would you do?
So we've talked about it. We would definitely buy this house, pay it off, just to, like, have that
Before we get
done.
into that, you taking the lump sum or are you taking the payments over?
Probably the lump sum, so we could do our own investing and whatever.
Correct. But see, as I get older, I was always, you take the lump sum, right? But as you get older, you realize having a steady income might be better, so you're
True.
not stupid about it.
Right. But we wouldn't be stupid about it.
Yeah, but you don't know because you never had that much money before.
Yeah, but we are both very conservative in terms of like not having debt. And, I mean, our house and my car. That's our only debt. So
you don't need the lottery, then you're fine.
yeah, I didn't say that. I just said we're very conservative about not having debt.
Okay.
So yeah, so pay off the house, my car, and maybe get new cars, just to not have to worry about that. Definitely travel.
The first thing you do, you take $1 million off the top and you blow that. I'm serious.
Yeah.
That gets it out of your system, right? You cut off $1 million, be like, this is for travel, stupid purchases. I want to buy all the Lego. I want to buy all the board games, right? All the stuff that I have not bought that I kind of wanted. That's what that's for. You just know that you're going to blow that. So you're not forced to be like, oh, I keep spending. Just spend it all at once.
I don't even know if I know the majority of the money would go into traveling. Whether we do...
But that $1 million can also include paying off the house.
Yeah.
Paying off a car.
We would pay off the house and probably do some the renovations we know we want to have done. But traveling long-term travel and also maybe like an RV trip across the whole country, but then international travel too. That I feel like that would be the bulk of what we do. And then also we've already talked about this too, setting up the rest of our family however we can to help with, my nephew going to whatever he wants to do after high school, trade school, college, whatever. That kind of stuff.
Because you can't live like a millionaire because you don't actually make that much money. Right. The trick is people will buy these mansions, but they're not actually making millions of dollars
to pay
for it the long-term keep.
Right. Just the electric bill.
So if you're putting in the money into a high yield savings that gives you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, that's what you're making.
Right.
You're not a millionaire. That's your salary. Right. So you still have to live within that salary.
Right. Right. Which is why I don't know if we would get a different house. Step one would just be take care of this one so it's off our plate. We don't have cut out as many of our recurring expenses as we can.
I still think you got to disappear, but
I also don't think I would totally quit working. I think I would.
You can't.
I would go a little stir crazy.
This podcast is over, though. No, we'd finally get our swivel chairs and our microphone. Right. All right, podcast is back on.
One more year.
Except we're just in Gucci and we're not even talking about photography.
And they'll just all watch while we get manicures and massages.
Because I'm getting paid too if you win.
Sure.
I had the best idea I ever heard. This is my old boss at IKEA once said. He was like, I would pay, so in your case, pay your sister $250,000 a year. And her job is to take all the calls for money and just say no. So you're not the bad guy. You give her your cell phone. Seriously, because that's what's going to happen is you're going to get, once they find out it's you, you're never going to end. So you pay someone good money to just pick up the phone and go, nope.
Good tip.
Nope. Email. Oh, can we get something for this foundation? Even if it's legit. Nope. And then you can decide on your own that, yes, I want to give to the Cancer Society. This means a lot to me. I'm going to give money here. But, yeah.
So what would you do if you got $1 million or if you won the lottery? Not $1 million.
Disappear.
More than that.
For sure, same thing. Like I said, I've always said $1 million right off the bat, and that is your fun money. The rest goes into savings. So the $1 million pays off everything. Then your travel. One of my stupid things is I want to do one trip to every Disney park, but is one vacation. But here's the trick: is when we go to Paris, I want to walk up and get a hotel room in Paris, and then just stay there until we're done. I don't want to actually say, oh, we'll do 5 days in Paris. Then we're going to fly to Tokyo. Then we're going to fly here. And I have other travel too. It's not just Disney parks, but this is something I've always wanted to do. But the whole point of the trip is when we're done, when we feel like we've experienced everything, then we'll go, okay, let's go to Hong Kong now. Same thing. We arrive at Hong Kong, we get a hotel, and we just stay until we're done.
Yeah, that would definitely be part of our international travel is going to all of the Disney parks.
Yeah.
For sure. But
yeah,
also long term.
a lot of travel, a lot of board games. I would definitely, obviously, not work for a while. I would need some time off. And yeah, I would still want to work. But honestly, I would probably still just work for Disney or something. I don't think with that kind of money, I don't think I would work for myself anymore.
You don't want to do the hustle.
Yeah. I would rather be like, yeah, I'll shoot this wedding once a month.
I feel like I might be the opposite, where like I would want to keep, like I would want to just do my stuff, but my stuff that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like families that I've been working with for years, or, you know, just things that excite me or that are interesting, or, you know, something that could be fun to do. I guess I would probably still stay at Disney too, because you get to do some cool things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would definitely be like a lot more of, oh no, sorry, not available.
A lot of unavailability.
Yeah. Which might, you know, terminate the business anyway. But
maybe I'll buy Disney Fine Art Photography.
But yeah, I think I would go stir crazy. I would probably also, I mean, I'm already president of the chamber board, but I'd probably look at like other community organizations where I could serve as a board member and like volunteer that way. Since I'd have extra time. I would do a lot of reading. I have like a bajillion books.
I play a lot of board games. You know what I always wanted to do is, I heard this, that I don't know if it's true, but like, what did Taylor Swift, one of her dancers or something, said that like Taylor Swift would go on GoFundMe and just like scroll through, and when she sees one that says like reach, you know, there's a button that says like reach their goal, where you can basically, and she would just go boop, boop,
Wow.
boop. And I do that, but with like medical debt, because I think medical debt is ridiculous. So I would be like the guardian anonymous, all of anonymous angel would be like, I'm paying off this person's debt. $50,000 in debt, gone. For having cancer, the husband is in $50,000, lost his wife, and now is in $50,000 in debt. No, well, it's not 50. It's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm going to say it. Fuck that. That would be my anonymous angel.
Yeah. I'm sure we would be donating a lot. I don't know where, but I don't feel like we would, if we had all this extra money, that we would like be buying a ton of stuff.
I agree. You have to keep your lifestyle the same.
Yeah. And like, yeah, there are Lego sets that Ryan wants that he doesn't get because, you know, it doesn't fit in our budget, or like where the heck are we going to put it in our house?
Well, in your new addition that you built.
Yeah. Or, you know, like, yeah, maybe I'd get newer clothes or makeup or, you know, something, but I don't think we would want to, like, number one thing we'd want to spend it on is our family and then traveling.
The thing is money doesn't buy happiness, but money buys time. And time gives you happiness when you have your own time to do things.
Yes. And the resources to do the things you want to do in that time. Yeah. I probably would buy some more cameras. I would probably end up with some GFX.
And I would probably have more like, I would buy like the weird Fuji, you know, point and shoot that does film but doesn't, like, yeah, I'd be like, you know what? Absolutely.
Yeah. To use on my travels.
Sure. And maybe like I would have a MacBook and a Mac Studio just to have. To go back and forth between. Because sometimes I want to sit at a desktop. Sometimes I want to have the portability of a laptop.
Yeah.
Other than that, not much is going to change.
We would probably eat out more.
My goal...
At, like, good restaurants.
And I don't know if Florida is a state where... Because there's a lot of states you can be anonymous. My goal is you would never know. I don't know if Florida is one of those. Because a lot of places you can hire an attorney, a money person, and they go on your behalf and do it. I know back in Oregon you could be anonymous.
That's cool.
But I don't know. But that would be my goal, is like you would never know.
I hadn't really thought about that part.
That's a problem, is that most people in the lottery, they end up losing it all. One, because they don't know how to, you know, they just blow through it like crazy, or they try to live a lifestyle that you're not a millionaire.
Right.
Just because you have $1 million doesn't make you a millionaire. I know it sounds dumb, but you have to.
You don't have
you have to have a constant
influx.
million coming in every year.
Yeah.
So.
All right. What would you guys do if you won the lottery?
Not listen to this podcast. Or could you donate to our podcast to make it better?
Yeah.
You could pay us. Fun fact: we don't get paid for this.
Nope. We just do this out of the goodness of our heart.
Taylor Swift, please. Go find me. Okay. I'm out of here.
Bye!
Balls.
Okay.
You can
All
start
right.
this one.
So...
Hey, Jacob. Hey, Don. You'd be like, can I tell you a secret? I was like, can you?
Okay. Okay.
Ow, now, brown cow.
Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Don.